You got it going? Yeah. My daughter's looking at a great pair of those.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, Melissa, you have a...
They're a big dog.
I said, well, Matt, she's got two big boys to begin with.
Right.
And I go, you live in the city. They like to wander, I hear.
Yeah.
So you might think twice. Oh, but they're beautiful.
Yeah.
So she keeps sending me all these pictures. And she goes, wouldn't you like one too? I said, no.
Yep. They kind of want. Mine's pretty good, but it took, a lot
But
of
he's a lot older.
Right.
I go, oh, I already got what, Kimbra? What's the house?
I'm looking forward to no dog for a
Okay,
while.
Roger. He says that all the time, and I go, okay, yeah, all right.
Well, a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Full in the park.
Yeah, I was too. Maybe I want to go back home.
All right, hey, everybody, thanks for coming. We'll get started with pledge.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, thanks everybody for coming. Good turnout tonight. Looks like we know that trying to keep the talking in the audience down a little bit, because we are being recorded and it's hard for people online to hear that, so try to keep conversations as low as possible. I just need a motion to approve the consent agenda, and we did balance to this month, right? We're all good? Okay.
Make a motion. I'll second it.
All right, all in favor? All right. Anything to add to the, do you want any business, anything else we need to add? We got kind of a list going on right now.
Swings.
You want to add the swing sets on? We'll add that approval now. So swing set,
Under 9.
under 9, yep. Okay.
You have the request from some of the seniors for Wednesday.
Oh, yeah,
But what is the hours? I don't know, I didn't really.
they only wanted 10 to 9 to 11, didn't they?
No,
No. I haven't seen that request.
it's in the packets. Wednesday's at 5, but what does Bunko go, Jason? Bunko 3 to 5?
4 to 8.
Bunko 4 to 8?
4 to
No, I
8.
thought Friday. Friday.
Friday at 8.
Yeah. So they still can't get in there then? Sorry, put that.
Bunko's here and then Friday's after that.
Right.
So what do they want for them?
They want a game night at 5 p.m. for.
Every Wednesday?
Yep,
Alright, nah,
that's for the seniors.
we gotta figure that out first,
Okay.
cause it sounds like we got a conflict of time.
Yep.
Let's just, we'll approve that next month, so we can figure that out, I'll get with Bill. Okay, alright, so we can go into fire and ambulance report. Let's put that together, because Ron's not always here, so.
Alright, in your board mailboxes, the board received the, annual report that, Ron and Ann and I worked on putting together. Kinda gives a breakdown of what we did this year, what we accomplished, some of our highlights, some of our defeats. And so, take your time, go through that, and what things we got coming up. We have our MFR class slated to start the first week of April, and that'll be turning from there going into an EMT class. we've been busy. Last month, we had 37 runs. Last month, so far this year, Northern Township Fires responded to 4 different individual structure fires. We've had 2 in the last 5 days. And so, just want to say that the new air packs that the Township Board approved us to get are working very, very well. And they've been used a lot. Wildland fire season is rapidly approaching. And so, don't let this little bit of snow fool you. We're gonna be into it, because we're already in a moderate drought this year, coming into it. Forest Service is making plans and taking steps already. And so everybody, I'll be doing a wildland, community risk reduction class on wildland interface, this year again in April. Instead of having it here, I'm gonna do it at the station. And so, we'll keep the community updated on that. And anybody out here in the audience is welcome to come. The Forest Service comes in and they show you, tell you what they're up to with prescribed burning and what they're doing to help mitigate the whole wildland fire problem. And so that'll be coming up. But like I said, it's just been kind of, this past week has been kind of a crazy week. And so, but yeah, that's all I got. Ambulance is good. Knock on wood, everything else is good. I hope I just didn't jinx myself, but.
You did. Usually when he talks, something happens.
And so if anybody in the audience has any questions for the fire department, you can get a hold of me or catch me at the end of the meeting, you know, what we got going on or what's happening. And so, we've got 2 individuals going through academy right now. Adam Boers just passed his firefighter 1, so he's certified now. Got his feet a little bit wet yesterday afternoon on his first structure fire that he could actually go and play with. And so, we'll get him involved a lot more here coming up soon. And so, so yeah, otherwise, everything's all good.
And Adam, thank you. Maybe more, thank you. Jack, quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
The new rescue waters.
Yes, the REC boat.
Working well?
Oh, yes.
Because you've had now time to play with it, both warm and cold, right?
Yep.
So it's.
And, that is I wished I would've had it last year when we had our Healy Lake incident. Because that boat right there takes, I mean, there's still risk involved with everything we do. But it helps mitigate that risk because your rescuers now have a platform that they can get on. If the ice breaks out around them, they're in a boat, that's not gonna sink. And so it's tethered to a rope on shore. We've done some practicing with it and yeah, it's really sweet.
And we don't need somebody that's trained to fly something either.
Nope.
So they can use that.
Yep, exactly. And anybody can deploy it. I mean, it deploys with an SCBA air tank. So we go down on the river, we go to a lake, we've got the air tank with us, you hook it up and it inflates in about 3 minutes and you close the valves and jump in it and you go. And so, so yeah, we have a few of these packets over here on the table. If anybody in the audience would like to see what the fire department's been up to, please take one. And any questions, like I said, get a hold of us and I'll have Gary answer your question.
And if you need an address signed,
Yep.
they got this program going too, $20, right?
Yeah.
And they get the address. Did you have a pretty good response to that last year?
We've done, what, close to 80?
Yeah, I was gonna count them. I think we got pretty close to somewhere between 70, 80 of them that I put up already.
And it makes it hard, you know, if you don't have an address for people to find you when there's an emergency. Yeah, most of the time you don't need it, but when that emergency comes, these guys or the police or somebody to find you, it helps to have a reflective sign with that address, not, you know.
Police
something
got the
that-
benefit, because they got a little thing in their car that shows them right where they're going.
Yeah.
It's built right into their computer screen and, you know, like MMR, the ambulances have the same thing. I mean, it's a big GPS that's built right in and, you know, the address comes up and turn here, you know? And so they have that benefit. We don't have that, benefit yet. And so, but yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. All right, assessor report. Got that from Great Lakes. We have turned our rolls into the county. We normally have balanced. Assessor change order notices have been printed and will be going out. If they haven't already gone out, they will be going out soon. So that's what I got there.
Reminder that, I'm sorry. Spring cleanup is in the assessment.
Oh, yeah, there's a map, that Joanne and Tim and some other folks, this is Tim, put together, and it kind of shows, try to alleviate some of the traffic congestion and some of the questions about, you know, cleanup day and all that. So that was all put together, a nice little flyer, which was good, so.
Do you have a date for the cleanup day?
June first, was it?
Yes.
June first,
June
yep.
first.
June first.
June first?
Yep, 8 to noon.
Yes.
Yep, and it's the same 4 yards, anything over is
Yes.
$20 extra a yard. Just half the price of taking it to the landfill, and you don't have to drive it there. Okay, Tim, to you, what you got?
I think I'm just good until if something comes up on what you're talking about later.
Okay.
Can I
Transfer
ask you a
station
question
stuff.
though? It's come up, people have asked, do we accept glass?
Oh, somebody made it.
Yeah, are we doing glass?
So I heard through
in
the
there or no?
rumor that there was not glass being taken in the recycle thing. It's still labeled on there as glass.
It is.
Well, right, because some of those tubs have no glass, some they never put the new stickers on them.
So is it no glass or is it
No,
glass?
it's glass.
Yeah.
You get glass.
It is.
I think it was just the wrong tub.
Because the last one that I just looked at, if it's this one right here, after I heard it come up, I looked at it and it still says glass. So
Yeah, I
if
think
they
we got a
weren't
weird
accepting
tub.
glass, they changed their signage, I think, so.
I think we got a weird tub where it was like plastic only or something, I saw that kind of pop up too.
Well, Dan-
We haven't been told.
Dan Funk says they are not accepting it.
Nobody's-
There is no market for glass.
The Republic is not doing,
Republic is not
that's
doing
what I
it.
heard too, that's what I'm
Yeah.
asking, so.
I will
Yeah.
call Republic, find out if they're doing that, cause I haven't know, none of us got anything on it, do you?
No.
Okay. And then that's getting to the point where plastic doesn't take up that much, I mean, it compacts, glass is the stuff that doesn't compact. And that's where the recycling then is starting to become not a real good leader for it. You start putting all that glass in there, we're not saving a whole lot recycling, and we're not. Recycling costs money. It costs more money to get rid of recycling by the yard, a lot more, almost 5 times the amount that it does to get rid of it as garbage. Everybody thinks you make money off recycling, you do not. It costs us, I can't remember what we figured out, close to $300 a yard to get rid of recycling, close to $80 a yard to get rid of trash. So keep recycling because it's good stewards of the planet. But now if they're not taking glass, that's the non-compactable stuff. That was the big advantage of having that. So I will talk to them. I'm not happy if that's gonna be the case. I don't think any of us are, so I will call Republic tomorrow. Okay. Management Council. Okay, a few things going on. We got a chili cook-off this weekend. We have a fireworks pancake breakfast on Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday we have things going on in the hall. Let's see. And then we just have the elections coming up, so that'll be doing the hall and normal seniors and normal everything else going on. So that's the only 2 really dates for February. Okay. Parks and Rec, Jordan,
I don't have a lot. I'm trying to find the best option for like the bumper protectors on the dots, so we can kind of be ready for spring.
okay. Maybe something by next month, we can, get it, okay. All right. Planning, nothing, right? We don't have anything? Okay.
Then I'll go back to what you're hoping.
And we're gonna do an appointment here next month. Zoning, few building permits coming in, not a lot. Been working with both of them on updating our fee policy. It has been $25 for a land use permit, no matter what, in this township for the past 16 years at least. Certain townships that are involved with the countywide zoning can be up to $1,000 to get a land use permit for a house. We charge $25. Talking to Bob and Ben about how much extra work it is, I was hoping to have it done, we didn't have it quite done. It's gonna be simple, large structures, house, pole barns, things like that. Over $10,000 is kind of what we're thinking. Might be a $75 fee. Small land improvement projects like sheds, decks, driveways might be $25. Just to update that fee for the extra amount of work that it's taking, and cost. Things have went up in the last 20 years, 16 years. So just to keep up with the times, we are by far the lowest land use. Us and Dixon are the lowest land use. I think they're $25 too, aren't they? Or they
Dixon's more expensive.
Yeah,
than
they
we are.
raised, so we'll probably do a raise, not a substantial raise, but a raise that is equitable for our land use permit. It won't be out of the order, it will not be over $100. I don't feel that there's a need for that, but there is a little bit extra work we can do on the houses, things like that. Bigger structures for them. So, okay. All right. So public communication. Anybody? Right here. Okay. We got a few. I'm gonna say this wrong. RZEH. Am I saying that? ZEH, right? R.
Yeah.
Who is that?
It's Big Hawk Society.
Yes. Is that you?
I think I signed something wrong.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem. You want to say anything? You want to talk about anything?
Oh,
What?
did you sign that too? Oh,
The K's.
Okay, so there's two. I think you're the first two. Okay. No, this is if you ever want to. We have to sign the sheet for anybody to talk in public comment. If you want to address the board about anything, no problem. We don't make you sign in. There's no record of you being here. Billy, I think you're the next one then. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
You have Jack.
I know. I don't even know where to, I mean, there's so many people to thank in the community, and I've tried to thank everybody that has. I'm giving the township board the final check for the 2024 fireworks to be shot on the 4th of July at Crystal Lake. And I wasn't sure if Richard had, if there's a copy of the latest insurance policy. I don't know if you guys got one, but I wanna make sure you have a copy of it.
Okay.
It's quite the, it's been a long road. It's been a good road and it's been a tough one, but we have, the bottle and can drives are doing fantastic. The pancake breakfast is coming up. I hope everybody enjoys the show. The show is 30% larger than last year. It's the largest show that can be shot on that water, by law. It's over 2,470 shots. Last year we lost three of our shells that were supposed to be shot on the water. I was informed the other day they've already arrived here. The water shots are water soluble, so if they get wet, they dissolve to nothing. So that's why we've lost a couple last year. There is, they're gonna be mixed up in the whole finale and everything, but that's 144 shots on that water that's gonna take place in 6 shells. I hope everybody comes and I hope everybody enjoys it. And I don't mean to call you out, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but welcome to the community. And you'll get to see it from your back door.
Absolutely, thank you.
And thank you all very much.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Billy. Just so you know, that was $5,000, so that's the second, so that's 10 total. 10. So, it is definitely working out better having it this way. I think it gives a lot more involvement with the people, so thank you, Billy, thank you for your group and what you've been doing. And do we have to build another, did he want
There's
another
2
one?
barges.
2 barges, so we gotta get those barges.
The
back.
finale will go on 1 barge by itself.
Okay, so we gotta get those other 2 barges. Alright. Mm-hmm. Barrels and plywood and cable. Yep. So anybody wants to help, we'll get those going here.
I got some marine screws, sheet metal and metal and wood.
All right, Kathleen Rosenfield? Am I saying that right?
Caitlin.
Caitlin, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
Alright, so I do have a couple things to address with you guys today, so I'm just gonna kind of, put this first thing down. This is a local paper that I'm looking to get started for our area, for Wellston and Irons area. I'm interested in extending it out to Brethren. But mainly my purpose for this is to have the front page either represent a local or a local business for the month. I'm just gonna come out once a month. And I'd like to have something about the community on the front. And then the inside, I'd like to have the local events that are happening for the month. So I'd like to get some good contacts from you guys or anybody else that's in charge of the, the Wellston area here, to get some of these events ahead of time, so I can get it in the paper to be able to be presented to the public before that following month. And then there's just gonna be some advertisements in there to help, our local businesses, and I'm working on a couple ideas to get some coupons from businesses going, and kind of get some money going back to our businesses in the community, and also benefit we all wanna know when events are happening. I think it's a necessary, important thing to have. I mean, it's the difference of 5 people showing up at an event or 50, and we all know how much work goes into putting these events on, so let's all come together and make this something that we can all utilize for information, and that's what my purpose of it. So I just wanted to get your guys' support and approval for this kind of thing in our community. It's very in the rough stages right now. I would like to form it more as a paper and have more inserts or more pages added in the future. But it's gonna take the community to support it and kind of get it rolling. So for now, that's what it looks like. And hopefully we can keep it going. And all of you here, it's gonna be available in a few spots. So it's gonna be available at the library here. It's gonna be available at Amy's Cozy Kitchen. It's gonna be available at the Irons Easy Mart across from Dublin, and the Easy Mart in Irons. So far, those are just a few places that it's gonna be landed. There's not gonna be that many copies out at the beginning, so just understand, don't get frustrated if you don't get a copy. I will be working on getting digital stuff going as well, so that way, any of you that don't get a physical copy can stay connected online or whatever. So, that was my first order of business with that.
I have a question. Do you have a phone number for ads?
So I have an email set up right now. I am going to probably end up sharing my personal number with it.
Well, email's fine.
Yeah, so it's gonna be thehometownscoop@gmail.com. Any inquiries or questions or any concerns from anybody can be all compiled to that email. And I am just in the very beginning stages of this, but for the community support, I would, really like this to be something that goes good and we can keep it going.
I'm sure we can get you a list of our, our senior events,
Yeah.
our booster events that they have. We have, of course, our 4th of July, and then I could probably get you in contact with our hall rental person, Val Brown.
That was,
That way, we got 2 events this weekend. That would be
Right.
good. So that sounds
Yeah.
great.
So, that would be my main purpose, getting that information and creating those contacts to get all that going. So thank you for that, I appreciate it. My second, thing that I wanna address is there's a group of people that have gathered. We would like to propose a farmer's market in this area. So here is our proposal for you guys. This is actually, you're the president, correct? Yeah, supervisor, yeah, kind of. Okay, so that's with everybody's signatures. You wanna sit together, right? So I would like to present this to everybody here, if you guys are okay with that, okay? And then, I will explain these couple little flyers here additionally. Okay, so the proposal for the farmer's market approval. I'm writing to formally propose the establishment of a farmer's market within our community. As a passionate advocate for local agriculture and community engagement, I believe that a farmer's market would not only benefit local farmers, but also enhance the vibrancy and sense of community within our town. Our proposed farmer's market aims to provide a platform for local farmers and artisans to showcase their products, fostering a direct connection between producers and consumers. This initiative aligns with the town's commitment to supporting local businesses and promoting a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. So location, we would like to request that it be held here at the community center. We believe that will maximize visibility and accessibility for both vendors and patrons. The proposed site adheres to zoning regulations and is easily accessible, minimizing potential disruptions and neighboring areas, to traffic and neighboring areas. Operating schedule. The market will tentatively operate on Saturdays weekly from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. This schedule will be chosen to accommodate the preferences of our community and to coincide with peak shopping hours. Vendor selection criteria. To maintain a diverse and high quality market, we have established a rigorous criteria for vendor selection. All vendors must adhere to local health and safety standards, and priority will be given to those offering local sourced products. Community engagement. We are committed to fostering community engagement through events, workshops, and collaborations with local organizations. This market will not only serve as a marketplace, but also as a hub for community interaction and education. And with that being said, that little paragraph says a lot for us. We would like to be able to have a booth with like the DNR teaching kids about their water samples that they take out. You know, we want to have educational opportunities for adults even, and incorporate that in the farmer's market. So that's just something that we're really passionate about. We want this to be given back to the community through all of these workshops and different things that we could host through the farmer's market. Benefits to the community. In conclusion, we believe that the establishment of a farmer's market aligns with the values of our community and will contribute positively to the overall well-being of our town. We kindly request the town board support and approval for this initiative. Thank you for considering our proposal. We are open to further discussions and collaboration to address any concerns and questions you may have. And there's some signatures from people that have met and supported and read all of this and are in line with the vision of this. These are just a couple of things that we think, you know, additionally bring home what our goals are. And this talks about the chain of events and how the market can bring different things for businesses and different people in the community, give a sense of community. People have to say, what are you doing on Saturday morning? We're gonna start at the farmer's market, then we're gonna go to the grocery store or whatever, you know? So we want it to be something that's more of a tradition for people and something good for people to look forward to weekly in our town. Because around here sometimes, you know, we do have events, but we would like something to be more stapled or every week look forward to something like that. So those are just a couple additional things that we would like you guys to read over. So our questions to you are, you know, is this a possibility here, you know, at this place? And because it's a community center, you know, I didn't know if there would be any kickback from that. What we would be looking at is doing sites of 10 by 10 tents out in the grass area. Vendors could possibly park either right here, or if we get permission from the fire department, possibly maybe having just the vendors only park at the fire department. But
There's all things we can talk about.
But that's all stuff that you just were thinking might need to be addressed. And then there's also, we just would wanna make sure that you guys, know that we are open to all the suggestions that you guys will have. We definitely wanna make this work, so come together and come compromise with some things. And I think that was basically it. Does anybody from the group have anything additional to add or supplement? Do you want to talk on behalf of your business or your?
Didn't Jill mention something, it was like in our master plan or something, to like have a market? Or like that was one of the goals? That was one of the goals.
No, yeah, I personally have no problem with it. There might be a little bit of conflict with the building, and that's why I think I would like the board to have time to think about this and come up with possible things that could be, like I'm gonna say for early spring, mid-summer, graduation parties, Saturdays. People are gonna be setting up, they start at noon. That would be a little bit of problem with weddings. I mean, I wrote that right down there, so the events here.
Yeah.
Do we have an alternate location for those, or would it just be easier to have an alternate location? And that was, and it's not but that was, I wrote that right there. That time on a Saturday could be tough.
Here, if the helicopter has to leave.
And that's the other thing. This is our LZ for a helicopter. That's why we keep that clear space. Hopefully that never happens. But those are the little things that we gotta think. Yeah, it does. But those are little things that we gotta think about. And like I said, if we can compromise the different locations. I can see this building being a little bit of an issue right there for that. Yeah, wintertime, there's nothing goes, there'd be no problem. We don't plan it in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Summertime, Saturdays is kind of our biggest day. And
What about like the corner of?
we have our new section of park where the flagpole is right across from the library where there's parking along all sides. Our goal with some other folks, with the bus and hotel and stuff, was a walk path in there and a pavilion in there. Plus we have our covered pavilion, like if it rains, over on the other side of the park. Would that be another suitable? I mean, out here, there's
Yeah,
no.
I think that would just have to coincide with how big we are wanting to make this, because if we say we have ample amount of space in this section right here, that might not reflect if we move it to a different site or, so we would have to, base that, just judge and say, okay, we need to make it suitable to fit both places if we had to move the market for the week or whatever. And I would like to use the paper as a medium for some of these sources as well to get these events going out, and even questionnaires in the public and things like that if we would like to get some further input.
Would you be able to let the board think about this and come back next month, and we can maybe kind of hash this out a little bit more?
You guys meet once a month, or do you meet? Okay.
Second Tuesday of every month.
Okay, yes. I would definitely like to get an answer as soon as possible, so if the next board meeting is when that's good for you guys, then I would look forward to that.
It gives everybody time to think
Yeah,
about what could possibly be a snack.
There's a lot of, this is not just a small idea, it's a very big, extravagant thing that's gonna take planning and cooperation from everybody, so.
And I don't want to speak for everybody, but I don't think anybody has a problem with farmers market, right? It's just the, logistics of the location.
Right,
We have
and,
to-
emergencies that could arise and different issues that are random, but they still are something that needs to be thought through, so, yeah, I think that's a good starting point. At least we're trying to start to get this going, but I appreciate you guys' input and everything.
Richard, does zoning conflict them having anywhere else?
No, we can have it at the park, any place on township property you can have it.
But anywhere off township property?
It's not zoned right now, that's a bad zone.
It's what?
Bob had told us today that it wasn't zoned, or for something in the zoning says we can't have it off of township property. That's what.
I'd have to ask Bob about
Yeah,
that.
that's-
Parking's an issue, residential areas I know would be an issue, commercial would not. I don't believe, but I don't want to mistake, that's not my lane we'd have to ask Bob. But no, I think we can make this happen. I do, I'm in for it, we've been for it. It was kind of something that Cheryl Urbano, before she passed, with the gardens, before they went, that was kind of the goal of that to grow into, but it just never did. So it's wonderful to see all these people that would be willing to start something like that. So, no, I think we're, yeah.
6th Street in Boston.
Yeah.
Oh, down by the,
No, 6 in
Oh.
Basham is a big
Oh, right
5 acre
here?
corner, that would be possible.
oh,
But across from the post office, I think, you know, that's a big site. That actually is a lot more land there than you think is there.
right, it'd just be like the parking in that spot would probably be a little bit harder. I mean, if we had vendors plus event people in that corner, it definitely might
Maybe.
do, but
Yeah.
we
But
can figure out.
on a Saturday, that's where we community involved with the church. I'm not speaking for the church at all, but I mean, that's extra parking there. Yeah, let us just think about that and
Yeah.
we'll see what we
Come
can do.
back with the list of things and we'll figure it out.
Yes, ma'am.
It sounds like we've got, you guys are interested, and it sounds like we're interested, and it sounds like we'll figure something out, and it sounds.
I think so.
And that's what I think it sounds like, how we get to that point, and it sounds.
I
we can
just-
find a way somehow.
Yeah, and I just know what popped in my head is because I had 2 people call for Val's number today about graduation parties in June,
Right.
you know, so that's why
Right.
it's fresh in my head. And-
Right.
And I know there was one earlier,
Well,
so
we
you're
have
talking 3 weekends in June already. So, yeah.
Right.
Let us come up with ideas and we'll come up with like possible other locations or possible this location, but the problems that we might have to get around and we'll figure out what works
Right.
best for you and your group.
Perfect. Thank you
Okay.
guys so
Thank
much.
you.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
All right. Anybody else? That was the last one on the list. Anybody else would like to say anything? Okay. We don't have any unfinished business. Let's go on to our first order of business in new business. Ambulance and fire department operation renewal. The wording is exactly the same. The only thing that was changed were the dates for the years 24 to 25. It's to replace the one that expires in 23. So it expired in December. 1 mil operation for the ambulance, same as it's always been. A possible 83,470, that does not include loss. Okay, so things that come off the tax roll, poverty exemptions, veterans exemptions, those things all come down, but you're not calculated in that number. Fire is 2 mils, and that would be 166 for the next 2 years, does not include loss. So, when you see the ambulance and fire millage, if we approve this tonight, when this goes on, this is just keeping the services as is, okay? Nothing's changing, it is just a renewal of the services that our ambulance and fire have been working on for, I don't know how many years since this has been passed originally. So the only thing that was changed was the dates, moving it up 2 years, just to renew it every 2 years. So do I have, any board comment on that?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the ballot language for the millage for the August 2024 ballot.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? No. Okay, so you'll send that over to the temper? Thank you. All right. Yeah, we'll have to sign, maybe you get them, I'll sign them. All right, United Way food box, so, I don't forget his name right now, Mr. Von Brockman, I think. United Way is putting out these food boxes, and he wanted to meet out here if the board approved it, where we put it. It's 4 by 3, and you can bring food, canned goods and things like that, or you can take from it. He has somebody that will maintain it and take care of it. The ladies at the bank are gonna do so. So they have a box, you can set it up, might need a little help setting up, and they have somebody to kind of maintain it, take care of it. When the food gets in overabundance, it'll be collected by the ladies at the bank, and they will take it to the United Way, the bigger food pantry.
This is non-perishable?
Non-perishable, yeah.
And do you have a location that they want it for?
No, I was hoping maybe in front of our bulletin board there.
Wherever it can
You
fit.
know, wherever it
I'm
can
on
fit. Does
board.
anybody have a problem with having that? I mean,
Wherever it fits.
you know, somewhere right here on the grounds next to the building. He said it's 2 4x4 posts with 2 angle posts going back. So we can deal with that in our rock area. I was thinking somewhere near the sidewalk. You know, he said, we'll see how it goes, and if everything works out, you know, they'll keep it running for however long. I said, I didn't think it was gonna be a problem. Does anybody, doesn't really have to be voted on as long as we're all good to let them put it up. Okay,
Do we want to vote?
I-
I'll make a motion.
sure.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Mileage policy. Okay, so this was just something that came through our audit, and these were the three things that the auditor said that we should just clarify. So, anybody had a chance to read over the mileage policy? Basically what it's gonna be is any employee, board member, anybody that sits on our boards, anybody that goes to training for anything, firefighters, whatever, when they want mileage reimbursement, if it's a one-off class, they just fill out this simple form where it says date, it says purpose. So if you go to class training, if you go to a site visit. If you go pick up materials, that's all you gotta put on and how many miles you wanna be reimbursed for that day. It just gets handed in, and this will be the page, simple and easy. This on here is just for an example that stays with it in case we run out of these. So this is all they turn in. They can turn in multiple pages. So if it's something, but it can be turned in per instance, per week, per month, or at least by the end of the fiscal year. So the 30th, our fiscal year at this township ends June 30th. So you can collect them all for the fiscal year. If chief goes out and goes to 4 different trainings and has to go pick up something, and he's got 5 or 6 occurrences throughout the year, he can just turn them in by the 30th. That's kind of it in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions on it? No? I just kept it as simple as it possibly could be. So I just need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Fraley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So, official one. Thank you. Okay. All right, that was easy. And we everybody knows, and they'll just be these somewhere, probably we'll make a pile of them somewhere, or, you know, so if you need to pick one up, chief, if you wanna grab some for your department, and like I said, they can just pick them up. Pretty self-explanatory and simple. All right, so that's done. Okay, computers for the township office. So myself, Gary, and Tim spent quite a bit of time here with the gentleman from Jack Pine, Sam from Jack Pine. Our modems are outdated. They're not communicating very well with a lot of our software. So what Sam suggested, because of the age of all of our computers, is that we can update our computers. It would just be the computer itself, not the monitors, mouses, or keypads. If either one you need new of those, we can get those too. I don't think that'd be a problem. So we currently have 2 new modems, one for here and one for the fire department, to be 5G modems, so that it will communicate better with the internet. Get those, so it'd be 3 new computers for the township. Like I said, just the boxes, just the brains of it. One for you, and one for the zoning and assessment departments, okay? Because we're having a really hard time. I'm telling you, I tried to load, you're all having a terrible time with the internet, because we still have those wonderful little chips that stick out of your computer. That's actually your Wi-Fi connection. Those computers are so old that is what connects to the Wi-Fi. When Sam saw that, he kind of giggled. He's like, oh, I don't know if they make those things.
I don't think they do.
So it was actually a very good price for the 3 computers. So to do those 3 computers, it was like $1187 to do those. And so I'm gonna continue to talk. Sam also talked about parts of our system as he looked at some of the different connections. Over the years, we have changed printers, we have changed scanners, we've changed computers. They don't communicate real well together. So it's parts of our system are 20 some odd years old. He called it a Frankenstein system. And we have 5-year-old stuff, we have 10-year-old stuff, we have 20-year-old stuff. He suggested, he goes, when you get your modems, let me come in and take the new computer, download everything off the old, make sure the operating systems are working, and then let me rebuild your system for when the Wi-Fi comes in the building. And that was an additional $490 for him to do that. I will tell you, Sam he charged us for 1 hour. He was here for
A lot longer.
Yeah. I mean, he was a really nice guy, he really helped. And he flat out said, he goes, he goes, there's one of the biggest, baddest laptops you can get, his laptop, and he said, I'll get 2 years out of it. Because they make the technology so it doesn't work with the new stuff coming out in 2 years. So he goes, this is something you really need to do, and he goes, that's why you have the sluggish problem. He got Merrill's computer working with the main Xerox printer, printed twice, we came back to something else, he tried to print again, it lost the connection. And he goes, that's the system. He goes, it needs to be rebuilt. No offense to whoever added the new components, he goes, but they were not adding them in chronological order how they should communicate around. So that's where we're at for the new system and the rebuild, or the new computers and the rebuild of the system.
I'd just like to say I really appreciate everybody's time working on this because it is horrific. What we're dealing with now is horrible.
Yeah, Gary
It
and,
really needs to get upgraded.
Gary and
We
I
don't really have a choice anymore, do we?
no, and it's something, and I'm gonna tell you, we looked at the internet system, and Calva has its flaws, AT&T has its flaws, it's not FirstNet, right? That's what we'll do. We dealt 3 hours with FirstNet, our modems are not here. So I plan on taking tomorrow afternoon off to deal with FirstNet again, because they should be here, because that's gonna be crucial to get those so we can rebuild, so. Anybody have any comment?
I just have a real quick question.
Yes.
I did look these up, the, computer, they're like a cube.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
do you know how many USB ports on there? Because I need a you can get a multi-thing, so I just didn't know if
I
you knew how
don't.
many.
ports, there are no USB ports on that.
There are no USB, so we
Ethernet.
have to go wireless on everything, or how,
No, what you can do,
like the keyboard?
I don't mean to
and mouse?
interrupt.
No, go ahead, you know more about this than I
What
do.
you can do, it's got an Ethernet port. So you plug one line into that port and you get a splitter. And you punch that in and then you run Ethernet cables, if you so desire, directly to the computer. You make it hardwired.
So I won't be able to, plug in the USB keyboard or the mouse or the monitor, which are all, I believe, USBs.
Sam will
And
send
then I
you.
Sam will
Sam will
take care of
figure
it,
it
that's his ballgame. All we're getting is the hotspot for the Wi-Fi.
No, I'm talking about the computers that they're cute, they're little cubes.
They're little
Those cubes, yeah, they have USB ports.
Yeah, do you know how many? Did you-
I will ask Sam, because what you're
Yeah,
talking
I
about
mean,
is your.
that's fine. I just need to know if I buy
Your-
another device that has multiples for the
But
other
you,
things. I
you
need.
need
Your mouse is hardwired, your,
Mouse,
Keyboard.
keyboard, monitor, I have a scanner, I have a barcode, or the, dyno label thing,
This is
and
why
I
nothing
have a
works.
flash, and I have a flash drive, so I need one that's
5 or 6.
probably 5 or 6.
okay, I will ask Sam that,
Yeah, I know it's got two for sure.
and if we have to
Yeah,
get a,
two's a good start.
and if we have to get a splitter, does anybody have a problem with having wireless mouse and wireless keyboards if he wants to have this?
No, that's fine.
Okay, if that's something we add in, I'll let you all know what it is, but I think we can update to that, we need to update the system, so we'll do it.
Okay, I'd
So-
like to make a motion.
Can I, well, for that reason, we'll go with the 1187, but I'm gonna make a motion for like 1,600 for the new computers in case we need to update for more
Yep.
stuff to get that. So, a motion to go up to $1,600 for Jack Pine to do the new computer upgrade.
That includes, I'm
Does
sorry,
that
is
include
that-
the program?
Jordan
you're
second.
making it?
No, it doesn't include the program. You're right.
You made it, Ty,
Yep.
you second, so that's the computer alone, or is that the other stuff too?
That's the computers alone, and then
And then,
I need a motion for 490 so Sam can rebuild the system.
one second,
May I second it?
and how much is that?
490.
490?
Yep, so, I need approval for the first $1,600 for the computer systems, the hardware.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Nays, none? Okay, so 5-0 on that, and, vote for the software, or the, for his installation.
Aye.
Aye, okay, we're good, 5-0. I'm both those. Well, that's fine.
That was 4 and 5.
Yep, 4 and 5, we're done. We got those two done, so. But they win. All right. Okay. Now, transfer station shed. We talked about rebuilding this thing. It's quite old, not working. So I went and looked at a lot of those shed dealers. $2,000 to $4,000. $2,000 is not set up. So what I'm proposing is that we build a shed, I'll build a shed, that is 6 feet by 8 foot with a 3 foot tall by 4 foot sliding window where cars will drive up to. So Bill doesn't have the risk of walking out and getting hit or anything like that. He can just hand the cards in and out, he can stay in, stay warm. The door will be on this end, there will be a window facing the road, and it'll be a shed roof with a 1 foot overhang all the way around. So all the water, nothing's gonna drip by his door, nothing's gonna drip from the window, it's all gonna shed to the back where nobody needs to walk. So we just tear that old shed out. Tim and I talked about it. We thought maybe the only thing that's not on this is grabbing a couple yards of gravel to set the thing up. So,
Does that have insulation in it?
no,
No.
it is not insulated.
Can we insulate it? It's cold in there.
We can insulate it. I was just trying to,
I know.
but we can insulate it, but then we'd have to cover the insulation with something. So, yeah, we can insulate it, and probably that would be another, it's $1,907 with there. So it would probably be with the OSA, we go 7/16 inside, 7 sheets, 8 roof, 9 insulation, probably an additional $300 or $400 on that. And like I said, I'll build the thing.
I'd like to see it insulated if everybody else would be.
So we're gonna approve right around 2,500?
$2,500 to rebuild the shed, tear the old one out. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Jim brought something to my attention. Do I have it in here? We don't need the solid, yeah, let's go 2,500. I don't make it cheaper because I have $260 in there for a door. Tim mentioned we have a door and a frame sitting over there in the hall, or in the shed that we don't need, and I can reuse the old door.
The door is actually for the transportation, so.
Yeah, I made that one work. We'll get that one big. We fixed the old door. The old door's working, right? You don't need that for your door installation?
Which door?
It was supposed to be the main door where you walk in by the,
Oh, I don't have a problem with it.
I think Ron Cole and I went over there one day and made it work. So that door's been sitting there. I forgot about that door sitting there for about 2 years. That was about 2 years ago, so. It was a door I bought from Somsted back when it was Somsted.
Oh, Richard, let's be smart.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about keeping Bill warm, and if we're gonna have a hot summer, make room for air conditioner for him.
Well, it does have power. He can have a fan.
What the hell?
We're not air conditioning a ticket shed.
Where's the snowmobile?
I suppose he's gonna need a bed in there. You like the guy,
Yeah.
boy recliner.
All right, so
TV.
anybody want a motion to approve? And when the weather gets better is when I'm gonna build this. I'm not gonna be up there freezing my butt off, but. With up to, yeah, I'll make a motion to approve up to $2,500 to build us a new shed. Get rid of the old one.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Yeah, it's just, I was amazed, being out of building for 2 years, I was amazed at how much the material cost was. And I went to 2 different places. Okay, so we're good there.
Can I add one more thing to that? Sorry, this is gonna put a damper in your thoughts, but we gotta be thinking of, we talked about it a little bit, we gotta be thinking of the other little shed too.
Yep.
Especially in the wintertime. Right now, the little heater that's in there is not working that great, the little milk house one we got. Because in the instructions it says do not run with an extension cord, I'm running it with a 50-foot extension cord, because there is no power. We either
Which
need
shed are
to,
you touching?
the one by the,
The compact.
correct. I put a little, battery powered light in there, cause when they shut the door to try to keep heat in there, it's pitch black.
Yep.
So I got some little LED strip lighting at my house and I hooked it up just so it's like, I don't even know if it's working anymore, but, Joey did make a comment that when he's inside that thing, he doesn't know when cars are coming. So either we keep the one that's there and make it a little bit better and try and figure out a heat source, and then maybe put a window in it that they can see.
Jason made a comment, I forgot, we built that thing on roll. It moves. Could we move that just next to the building? And that way it's not gonna run so far, maybe we can direct plug that thing in the winter?
Just roll Joey down the road.
Alright, so we gotta work on that. Problem is we have to run it off an extension cord right now because we're not gonna cut the asphalt up during the middle of winter. And I really don't wanna cut that asphalt up anyways.
But we can, we just gotta think about something to do better with that one next time type of thing.
Can we do both of these? No?
I don't think we have to rebuild that one. I mean, the guys that work there, are they in it that much?
They're in it, they use it.
Yeah.
They use it more than you think that they do, but when,
If it's,
when it's
I mean,
cold, they can't
ideally,
move around.
ideally for those guys, you know, they're sitting out in the rain.
Yep.
I've sat out in the rain. I mean, it wouldn't be all bad to have something a little bit better and try to cantilever it a little bit over top of the control buttons and, I don't know.
It makes sense, I get what you're saying.
I mean,
Maybe that'll be next time.
How about we do that at the next meeting?
Yeah, we'll come up with a design for that one.
let's get the first one out of the way first and.
Okay.
So the first one turns out and see how.
Yeah.
The improvements on the second one.
Yep. All right. Yep. Thanks, Tim. Okay, so, but the other problem that comes up with it is the big old tree. I got a bid from DLS Outdoors, that big tree, it's an old, about 8 big round, to get that tree cut down, it's leaning pretty bad to the road, it's got half of it dead. And, I noticed when I was doing the tour, Wellston Cemetery, so this is Wellston Cemetery, 6th Street, right here, there are 2, 2nd Street, 6, yeah. There are 2 90-foot red pines that are right next to the fence that have not had they have not been alive in the last 2 years. And pines, when they go fast. They go from standing up to being pepperwood and falling right over. So I asked them to include that in the price, taking those 2 90-foot red pines down and getting rid of those out of the cemetery because I'm afraid they're gonna fall on the road. And I actually think they'd hit Mark's driveway, they're that tall, or hit Mr. Brock's driveway. So it was $12.50 to take those 3 trees down. So does anybody have a question on that?
Nope, I'll make a motion to take the tree down and close the cemetery and the transfer station.
Alright, so, alright, motion for $12.50 for DLS Outdoors to take the trees down. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay. This albatross of a floor. We've talked about this. We have luckily we have 2 board members that used to do this. And I'll let you guys kind of talk on that. This floor has reached its lifetime. We can wax it again, but the red tiles never come back as red as those are. It's worn out, it's cracked, kind of underneath, behind the first or second row there's a fairly large crack in the tile. The tiles got gouges in them. So I went and checked out Chief's, asked me to, I went and looked at a Home Depot light blue flooring, went and looked at Lumber Liquidators flooring. Both of those floorings, good quality floorings, really thick, they interlock together floating floor. That's what we do, okay? Then I talked to a couple other people and they're like, you know, when you start getting wheelchairs, when you start getting tables, things of point load, those interlocks can be broken. And then the floor starts coming apart. So, Tim got a hold of Nixon floor covering in Cadillac, and they got a glue down version of that. This floor covering that you see samples of right there, he has put this in, he has done Cadillac Hospital, he has put it in a grocery store. It is a 25-year residential, 10-year commercial warranty. He said we are more residential leaning than we are commercial leaning because of the amount of traffic. This place isn't used like a grocery store or a hospital. So there are multitude of colors here in wood grains, and then there are other stone looking grains. That's not that important. Jason and Jordan, what do you guys, I mean, this floor, what's your guys' thoughts on it?
Zero maintenance, not that.
No, I mean this floor.
Oh,
It's time. Okay. And then this stuff, like you said, you mop it. That's what you do. No more waxing, no more, and the guy said he was, you know, depending on how clean you want it, he goes, because we do have the Kathy that cleans and might have to, you know, if it's muddy, might have to mop it, spot mop it here or there. It's just gonna work. So, to give you an idea, doing the floating through Life Proof or Lumber Liquidators, it was in between $13 and $16,000 for the material and us putting it in. Mine used don't wanna do that, but I think it would probably take about 2 or 3 days for a group of guys that, or people that would know what they were doing. We've all installed it. Now, Nixon came up with, for the community center room, 15.4 to redo this entire space here.
Do they go over the top of this one, or do they rip it up?
They go over the top of this one. What we have to do, so there would be 2 things that we would have to do. One, we have to scuff this floor. So we have the machine, which we now get to sell, that machine, the buffer machine. We'd run a scratch pad over the whole thing. Might have to along the edges, get a 6-inch sander or something, scratch where that machine doesn't get to. So we prep it, and then when we're done, we put quarter around the base. We would add quarter around, or 3/4 around. I can do that, it's not a problem. I can clear coat it, and it won't take long to quarter around this room for an hour or so.
So the 15.4 is only for the materials?
No, that is labor and materials from them. So 15.4 labor and materials. If we wanted to add the kitchen in, it was an additional $857. And the entryway, because that's the red and white tile right up front, to have that match is $656.
Well, if you do that, then you're gonna wanna do the office also.
Okay, so what, 857 for the kitchen?
So, it's $857 for the kitchen, and $656 for the, and that's labor and everything.
Where was the 656?
For the little entryway out here. Yeah. And we don't have to do that, I mean, that's separate technically, we don't have to do that. They said it would just be maybe better to go into the kitchen and do it all at once.
Well, I would suggest do the kitchen too.
If you don't do the kitchen, that's just one other little trip hazard for, because you're gonna have a.
Transition.
Yes.
And really, instead of maintaining the floor, we just are very careful with the tables, make sure they have the bumpers, make sure the chairs have the bumpers. If the chairs don't have the bumpers, they go into a, pile until they're fixed. I mean, we just have to take care of it. It's time, this building's now, 1999, so we're getting close to 25 years. This floor is beat up. We don't have to vote on this now, I just thought to think about, but I think it's time that we do something with this floor. Tim does not, talking to him and talking to these guys, are like, we're gonna put wax on it, we're not gonna bring this floor back. It's gonna look good for a couple of weeks, and then it's gonna look bad again. And it looks like this dinginess all the time.
Will this floor uphold people dragging the chairs or the tables across the floor?
Yes, it should. This stuff, this is the same stuff that all your children in the cafetorium in Brethren just had this flooring put down in lunchroom. So this same type of flooring that glues down. And that steps. That handles 500 kids a day on that, so.
I'd like to think about it.
Okay.
Did you have a color that you were thinking about?
No, I brought this, I went to Nixon and got this, and brought this, because they've got multiple wood samples. I mean, my suggestion is you get something a little bit darker than the wood. That's how I am with color. I was thinking something like this, or like this, but we can do whatever. And then they also have the stone looking tile pattern. So you guys can all look at that. That was something I brought up. The reason I brought it up is Tim is scheduled to redo this floor with him before our next meeting, so I kind of want to hold off on doing that until we decide this.
Technically, it was actually supposed to be done 2 weeks ago. But
Yeah.
That's last week.
And he gets done so all at a time.
And one of my thoughts is with all the traffic
Tim,
for the 3 elections
Open the
that are
floor
this
out,
year,
is that what you're
maybe
talking about?
consider doing it.
No, put a new floor down.
Just so that this gets all the abuse we can give it.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to bring that to the board because speaking with everybody, we talked about it at the last meeting. We looked at the floor, there's just too much stuff wrong. I don't think we can bring it back, but if the board's decision next month is not to do this, then Tim's waxing it.
Yeah, I think we also need to look at that countertop that's in there on the main, center island, and the refrigerators are getting pretty antiquated in there too, so I might wanna try to put something
one, the black one is new. Yeah, that's only, and the black one we just bought 2 years ago, I think. 293. The stoves are new.
Yeah, I remember the one went out and you had to go get it.
Right.
Yeah, the white refrigerator is probably the oldest one, and then the white one on that's the senior's refrigerator, that's not a,
That's, yeah, that's not right, so we don't have to do it.
we don't have to keep it.
No, that's seniors.
When you resurface this, like, you got a big crack here, that won't continue through the new, tile.
Guy from Nixon said no. That's why I was originally thinking floating. He said it's not raised up enough to do it. If they felt it raised, they'll grind it right down.
Okay.
So, yeah, that is actually an expansion joint crack. There's another one, there's three of them.
I figured that.
That's a saw cut crack or an expansion joint. I don't know that they, Jack, you weren't around here when they built this, were you? So I don't know if they use the old expansion joint material or if it's just saw cut.
Just here the week for the building started. What year was that?
99.
99.
So something to think about. I'll leave that sample. Nixon said I could have it for a while, so it'll be in the office. Yeah. All right, so swing sets. Meryl, go ahead.
Excel has donated, $250 towards the, swing sets, and I would like the township to pay whatever one we decide to pay the rest, so we can get it ordered and get them in for the summer. But they're also going to write a grant to, pay for a pavilion and, walking path, is that it, Jacqueline? Yeah.
That's what we wanna do with your.
You going Mingerton? Mingerton?
With your approval. With the township's approval.
Yes.
But they would like to write a grant to get a pavilion and a walking path, and I would like to accept this and then order the swings, so we have something down here for the kids for the.
To join, the new area.
The new area.
How
But-
much is that swing set? And
Well,
it's-
she gave us several samples, we have to pick out which one. Jason wants one that has for the bigger kids and then
One for the
a
smaller
smaller
kids.
kids.
Jason, you can.
Well, there's one
They're
that
not
has,
very expensive, really.
yeah, there's one that has, what, did you point out, which one did you point out?
They have, well, let me find it.
Yeah, Jacqueline,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Jacqueline picked this one, but I don't think those are for little kids, it's got 2 and 2.
No, but you can switch the swing out, so you can have like just a regular swing or switch it,
For the little kids. one.
like put in the baby swing or whatever.
Oh,
So
the
you
4-1
can
here.
customize each one.
The heavy duty one for 2,000?
Well, this one's here, got 4, and that's 1,500. But, you know, we can
Well,
look at
can we
them.
get, I'd say, can we get 2 of them? One with the big, one with the small? With the 4 swings on it?
So you wanna have 8 swings?
Which two?
Are you
It would be- it would
We're looking
be-
at the tripod one where you had 4 swings there.
Right, it would be the same one, but one has the bigger swings, one has the smaller swings.
Yeah, and then there's
Yeah, I
a
didn't
cheaper
see-
version right here.
We don't want to shoot.
No.
I think it was this one.
No.
Buy one that's already
No, it's this one.
One that's already
The
assembled.
one has.
Well, no matter what,
one
it's not
has
gonna be as bad as the playground one.
And then
They're just
we have
swings, they're just swings.
4 of these swings on it.
Okay, do we have, can we get a handicap swing for any of this, do you know?
Well, we probably could, but it'd be a separate structure. Or,
Can
I
we
mean,
whip in, or do they have-
Supposedly,
So if you got a long one, could you have one that you could?
yeah, they have them with that at the end, like,
Yeah.
you have your regular swings and then a handicap swing over here.
Yeah, but that's a separate, do you know if they have one
Yeah,
that
they
connects
definitely
to
do.
one of the other
Yes.
ones, that we could just add?
Any of those sites have about hundreds and hundreds of different options.
Right.
That was just kind of get the ball
Now, is
rolling.
this through the same place that we got that?
Some of them are, yeah.
Okay. So will they will match in color, or?
Yeah, we could just do that to go on. I think you guys can order that, Rich.
Yeah.
So, I think that you could probably even just, they have the same series, so you can add like the swing, so it's still the same color.
Do you know if they're on sale now? Because I've looked at their site before, and a lot of times they seasonally, you can get it cheaper right now.
Every site that I clicked on over the last few days has had sales going, but
that's why I wanted, because
Right.
it took us so long to get that.
Right.
So we could get it here, so we could get it in
Get it
sometime.
before.
Yeah, the install should be a lot less.
I would hope.
I would hope, yeah, that was daunting. I
I said we get
feel
two
for you.
sets.
2 sets?
Yes.
You wanna get 2 sets of quad, or 4 or 2?
Yeah, 2 sets.
Go big or go home.
Well, but if you do the handicap / special needs type swing, which is like a glorified baby swing, are you only gonna want 1 or are you gonna want 2? You know, those are kind of things.
One.
I'm just wondering.
We can start with
One's
one, and
sufficient.
see where it goes, and then if it's really used, then we look again at another one.
Well, the problem is that part's not really handicap accessible anyway.
That is true, it is
Yeah.
not.
That's true, that's true.
Well, that's where the walk path comes in.
Right, so we could wait on the handicap maybe until we move forward with,
Do it as an add-on later.
Then we
after
could,
get
you
it
know.
done.
Yeah, wait, see if
Yeah,
we
but
get it
still
done.
still you have ones that could use it that aren't fully handicapped.
And they're not in a wheelchair.
I mean, the one sitting next to me's been whispering in my ear, there's kids like that can walk around yet. And then, you know.
Well, and we have little Marys right there too.
Right.
Well, this is something that we want to keep going. We want to keep adding on to our parks and really put a little more time into them. You wanted to start with 1 quad right now, see how it is, and then go to a specialty swing afterwards? So go like $2,000 for 1 quad, 4 swings?
Let's say we
I
do
want
it.
2.
I'm just saying that way it's, cause you have the little kids and the little swings, and you have the bigger kids with the bigger swings.
I'm
That's
good.
all-
Usually
that's
I'm the
all
one
I'm
asking to
saying.
spend money, so I'm good. You guys are saying to spend money. I'm okay with that.
okay, so Meryl and I spent a lot of time there this summer, and I can tell you that swings was the most requested, and it is the most requested from little kids even to adults. Like, because some adults are watching their kids play, they'll even go over there and swing.
And teenagers like them too.
Yeah.
I'm-
So I think that swing, either, any swing down there is great, so you can start, and if we have to fundraise and do another one, that's fine, but if we can do 2, then I say let's do 2.
Look, I'll make a motion that we should do, let's say, 4,200 plus tax for a swing. How about that? Cause that should cover us otherwise.
I'll take it.
I'll second it.
So do they come with the change in the seats or is that separate?
Does that come with the change in the seats or?
I don't know, but if you're saying 4,200, I will find you the best deal for those and bring it to you tomorrow.
Oh, it'll have to match what we have.
Yes, yes.
And they're brown,
Then I'm really going to see what they're brown or
Yeah.
green.
We're gonna match.
I'm gonna be here tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, I will get that, I will figure it all out and bring
We
it.
have to give her permission?
No, the
or
piping, I think the
we have
piping
to
is
give her
brown,
formal
but the
permission
piping
for that Excel to write the grant?
Well, let's do this first.
Okay.
So I make a motion for $4,200 to purchase up to 8 swings, or 2 sets of 4.
2 sets?
Second there. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nay? None? Thank you again.
Thank you.
Wilson Excel, yes, sir.
While we're on that subject, I need a new flagpole at the station.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see, I would like to see a flagpole like we got here at the park. And then we wanna put it up on the island.
Right where the last one was.
Jack, you want a
Breakaway swing, pole is
No, if
fine.
it gets broken up there, then we got issues.
Okay, alright, so, yeah, I think that was, I don't think that's a problem, maybe we have a problem. It's, I think they're about $2,000. We just put one in at the park, and we have one over here. They're the flagpoles. And the thing about those flagpoles is you pack them with sand and tar, so that if they do get bumped, they don't always bend. They actually move in the wind and sway in the wind, so yeah, that came from flagpoles.com, I think, is where I got the last 2.
So where's it going?
Fire station, we currently don't have one anymore.
It got really windy one day.
Yeah.
There was a snowplow incident. Alright, so number 10, I'll make a motion, we buy a new flagpole for the fire department, around $2,000.
Thank you.
Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Okay, I'll add that on there.
Can I add an 11?
Sure, add an 11 for it.
I have an opportunity to fly
to go for the grant for the some type of pavilion. If you need drawings, let me know, come up with
You
an
still
idea.
have those old drawings?
I still have the old drawings, yeah.
Those would be helpful.
And then
Yeah,
the
and then the walking path.
Yep. And I'll get you the amount of material we needed for that too, because you'll need all that for that. But anybody have a problem going for the grants to try to continue on the park?
I'll make a
Do-
motion
do it.
for the grant for
Go
the
ahead.
mayor, and the grant for the, mayor grant.
It's just stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
You got approval. So Jacqueline, when you get that, you will need stuff from the board, different information. I have the dates of when we talked about that park and we had public meetings on that park back like 3 or 4 years ago.
I
That's
have
still
some
good.
of it
You
left,
still have some of
but,
that?
yeah, but I do, the map I know I didn't have.
Yep,
Like
I got the
everything.
map.
So maybe we can touch base this week or something, or
I think
in the
she's-
next couple of grants.
Or possibly maybe.
What is that? Where is that grant out of?
Manistee.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
It's the Mingerton family, or Mingerton family grant. They give out public health grants, basically things for healthier living. Yep. All right, so I need a motion for the night. We got a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Thank you for all coming.